Well, toddler tantrums are just par for the course for most parents, but now a new study has found that kids who go to daycare are more likely to throw them. For the details, let's go live to Nine's Chloe Bughelli. Chloe, good afternoon to you. Now, as we know, most toddlers have tantrums, so why are kids in daycare experiencing more of them by the sounds of things?
Well, Wendy, according to this study by the Australian National University, which monitored more than 5,000 toddlers, those aged 2 and 3 who spent more than 20 hours a week in daycare were more moody, more frustrated and screamed a lot more than those in parental care. Now, some parenting experts have put this down to the fact that they're spending the bulk of their time in a noisy room and in some situations are competing for care and attention. The research also found that in some cases, the behavioural problems were equivalent to an 11-month delay in development, and experts say this research certainly gives parents something to think about.
It's a big sensory experience to have other children around and noise around you and stimulation constantly all day. When you think of children in childcare versus children at home have downtime where they can go off and play by themselves. They don't always have other people around them.
The problem is, Chloe, parents are feeling guilty enough as it is sending their kids there sometimes. So what can working parents do?
Well, interestingly, Wendy, the research also found that these behavioural problems didn't exist among children at centres where there were more staff. And that's good news for parents because from next year, all childcare centres across Australia have to boost their staff numbers to make sure that there's one adult for every 4 children under the age of 3. But look, as you mentioned, Wendy, for parents who aren't lucky enough to have the choice, the interesting thing is that early childcare educators say that the social skills and the sharing skills that kids learn at childcare are invaluable. Take a listen.
Staff are role modelling behaviour, they are learning from other children, they are actually, by the time they actually get to school, they've already gone through that socialisation.
So ultimately, Wendy, look, there are positives and negatives whichever way you go.
Yeah, so true. Chloe, thank you very much for that.
New research has found toddlers who spend time in daycare are more likely to throw tantrums and develop behavioural problems. But as Chloe Bughelli reports, early childhood educators argue the social benefits far outweigh the negatives.
Tears and tantrums. They're part of the package when kids are going through the terrible twos. But new research has found toddlers are even more terrible when they're in childcare.
It's a big sensory experience to have other children around and noise around you and stimulation constantly all day.
Out of 5,000 toddlers, researchers found those who spent more than 20 hours a week in care were more frustrated, moody and screamed more. And while Sula Philippus was lucky enough to choose, she believes her decision to keep little Chloe at home has helped her blossom.
I think the home is probably one of the best education interventions that any child can go through.
But early childhood educators say the social benefits of daycare are priceless, and many mums agree.
He's built social connections with other children. He has been able to build bonds with other adults.
The study also found there were no negative effects among children at centres where there were more staff, which is good news for parents because from next year, all childcare centres across the state have to make sure there's one adult for every 4 kids under the age of 3.
We feel we will be able to give the children even more than what we give them now, and it is for their future.
Chloe Bughelli, 9 News.